Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very special interview here on The Bottom Line. I should mention that this interview on The Bottom Line is powered by our good friends in StreamYard. For your professional live streams and recordings, get yourself a StreamYard plan. Sign up at the link down below in the description section to get a 14-day free trial with no credit card required to sign up. StreamYard for the most professional live streams ever. Alright, we got ourselves a very special band to check out. It's actually funny. I saw one of the members during a Motionless in White show in New York City this past November, and now I'm interviewing her whole damn band. I mean, what is the world coming to, ladies and gentlemen? But without further ado, Kyle, Kasey, and CJ from Deadlands are in the house. Guys, how we doing? Thanks for hopping on.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. The pleasure is all mine. Thank you again for doing this. We really appreciate you all so much. So let's not waste any more time, guys, and just jump straight into questions here. So first things first, anyone who knows me, I gotta get out of the way. I love origin stories. I can't help myself. So with that being said, before we get into how the band itself got started, how did you guys first meet?
Me and Kyle have played in bands before. I've known Kyle the longest out of Deadlands.
Okay.
And we've always had like amazing musical chemistry. So and then I was also in another band with Kasey. Basically, like at a time where none of us were like in a band per se. We went. So I brought Kasey to a concert, like at a local venue, and we bumped into Kyle, and kind of got the ball rolling from there. Like we were stoked to, like I was stoked to see Kyle. I introduced Kyle and Kasey. We started hanging out, and we decided to form the band. But it's so crazy that we're talking about this now because me and Kyle have been listening to the artist that we had went to go see the concert, been listening to on repeat for the past like 3 days. And it's so full circle because it's like we met at this show and now we're here. Now we're Deadlands. But
I don't mean to cut you off, CJ. I apologize, but do you remember the name of the artist?
Nothing Nowhere.
Okay, all right, yeah. Now you know it's full circle. Anyway, please continue. I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But yeah, we started jamming. I just remember like how easily like we all clicked in the first like studio session that we had, like literally in my bedroom, of like creating a song was so seamless, and we knew it would hopefully take off someday, and we're still hoping for something big, but we're all very grateful for where we're at now.
Who came up with the band name? Why Deadlands?
That was CJ.
We
were.
I'm guessing at this point CJ is the brains behind everything. Am I correct?
Honestly, I don't.
If I had a brain, then yeah, I would be. But...
I don't think any of us have brains, to be honest.
No.
Honestly, we're all just like that episode in SpongeBob where it's like the statues.
Yes.
What is it called? Is it? Either way, I forgot what the episode is called. I just looked it up the other day, but it's like the statues of SpongeBob, and all you hear is like, yeah, that's just like all of us.
Oh, the freaking
Sponge.
Yeah, that was it. Thank you. That was it.
Yeah. That's what goes through all of our brains. At least I think that's what it feels like.
That goes through my brain on a daily basis. I don't blame you. But anyway, please continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So the way that we came up with the band name, we were all just sitting around in a circle. Took 5 minutes. We were like, what about this name? Kyle goes, what about this? And CJ goes, what about Deadlands? And me and Kyle look at each other and we're like, yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, you've heard like there's books, there's those stories that I was reading this book and I opened up to the one page and it said I set my friends on fire, and that's how we
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, nothing like that. We're just straight to the point. That's it. Thanks, Siege.
Oh my god. Now, this is going to be a very interesting question here, but I am curious. I want to know how you guys got started with playing your instrument. So Kasey, how did you get started in singing? Kyle, how did you get started playing? CJ, how did you get started playing, etc., etc.?
Kyle, you want to go first?
Sure. I like I don't know the correct word, but like I thank my father for like all my musical ability. Not that he plays himself, but he brought me up on music. So
Okay.
literally, like he's such a classic rock buff. Where when a song gets played, the first second or two of the song's on, and he's telling you the song, the band, the album, the year it was recorded, where it's recorded, and it'll just spit facts down a line. So he always just got me into like this musical mindset to the point where I love music from such a young age, where I take pots and pans and create a little drum set and play the drums, and that's actually how I technically got started. My dad walked in on me playing like my pots and pans, and he was like, "You got something here." He was like, "Let me invest in a drum set for you, a drum teacher." So I got like one of the best local drum teachers we knew from just like other friends of ours who played drums, my older brother's friends who played drums. We got one of their drum teachers. So I had been practicing with a teacher and a real drum set from a very young age. I think it was like 9 or 10. Rock band has a lot to do with it. I
Yes.
rock band and all that stuff. That's kind of where a lot of just the simple rhythm and even select bands I listen to this day, like all stem from rock band. But I always just loved music from my dad. That's kind of where the love for it came, and it all kind of started when he walked in on me playing some pots and pans.
See, now, before we continue here, Kyle, this is where you and I get along very well, except for the fact that you're better than I am, so that's just me. No, seriously. The only... I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said there's no better or worse. It's all...
No, you are right about that. But no, seriously, I only was good at drums on Rock Band. That's it. I suck at real drums. I can't play them for my life, so that's just that. But anyway, who wants to go next with their origins of how they got started playing their... Kasey, you want to go next?
I'll go next.
All right.
So there's a couple different ways that I got into singing and metal. So the way that I got into metal, when I was about 4 or 5, my dad used to bring me to like his work claims. He's a car adjuster, so like he would have to go out to Queens, and then I'd have to go with him like during the summer. Because my mom would be working, so it's not like I could stay home. And so we'd be driving around in his Mustang that he had, doing work. And he would play things like, he'd play Seether, Godsmack, Marilyn Manson, just like the classic, like, dad metal, dad rock type stuff.
I like it.
So I gravitated mostly to Marilyn Manson. He was my fave.
Okay.
So we would just kind of be like blasting that in the car or whatever. And then for probably a period of like 10 or so years, I absolutely hated metal because I was one of those people that would consume everything and only the things on the radio. So, like, I'd be listening to our local, like, pop or rap stations, and I'd be like, this is real music. Ooh, like, I know.
I'm sorry.
I know. And so, even to the point where my brother, who plays guitar, we went to a battle of the bands that he was in, and they were playing metal there, and I was like, this is horrible. This sucks. Whatever. So, but at that point, I started getting into video games, and my brother started really like getting into playing guitar and playing heavier guitar as it progressed. So this was probably when I was around like 12 or 13. I started playing Call of Duty Black Ops 2. and
man.
I found Avenged Sevenfold
Yes.
when I was playing zombies, and I was like, this slaps. Like, this is actually really good stuff. And then my brother is over here showing me some Asking Alexandria and Attila and stuff, and I'm like, huh. So Avenged Sevenfold was really my gateway into metal, and then I just I worked backwards from Hail to the King, and then I got into Waking the Fallen, and then I branched out from there. It's awesome.
You excited about their new album coming out soon?
I'm a little scared.
Oh, why?
Controversial because
Why?
nobody.
I'm assuming you're not a fan.
It's not my cup.
Okay, all right. It's not gonna favor everybody. That's okay.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll see. People are probably gonna get mad at me, but like,
so
fine.
what? So what? Who cares? Let them be mad.
Exactly. I'm like, listen, I am a fan of Avenged Sevenfold, and I will say that with my full chest. But for me, nobody was just not it. But
okay.
I'll still listen to the album and check it out. I'm just a little nervous.
Fair enough. CJ, you're up next, my man.
So, I've been playing guitar since I want to say like 6 or 7.
Okay.
Just like Kyle, I started with Guitar Hero, and to be honest, no one in my family really had like any influence on the type of music I listen to, or like if no one in my family plays an instrument or anything. Mm-hmm. And I just remember like I got Guitar Hero for Christmas one year because like I was always at my friend's house playing it, and me finally owning it, like I was on expert within 2 to 3 weeks of playing it. And I'm like to this day, like a very, I'm sure you can see in the back the little Guitar Hero controller.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
those were the days, man. That's how I got my start on guitar too. Actually, I'm still
really?
playing. I've been playing for 12 years.
Wow. Yeah. Very similar.
It's something I really don't tell a lot of people, to be honest with you. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just addicted to it. My ADHD brain just needed something to hyperfixate on, and I
there you go.
Ever since then, but I did not start with metal. I didn't like metal as a genre for a really long time. I want to say around like I was probably around like 14 or 15. I remember no, definitely younger than that, because the year after Collide with the Sky by Pierce the Veil came out, that album, like, that changed everything for me. And I went with some friends to the tour that was Pierce the Veil, Sleeping with Sirens, Beartooth, and This Wild Life. And Kyle was actually at the same exact show.
Dude,
I was. We didn't know each other then.
Yeah,
y'all are speaking my language right now. This is fantastic.
That was like my prime years of like, I think even before that, a friend of mine showed me. A lot of people don't really usually know this band, but they're called Palisades. And I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so upset they broke up though. It's a shame.
They did they? Yeah, they played a farewell show.
It was like
I didn't even know that they broke up.
What?
I didn't listen to them.
Yeah. They just played their last 2 shows here in Asbury Park at the House of Independence.
Wow.
I'm so sad about it. I was seeing the photos and video. I actually watched their because they were selling tickets to the live stream portion of the concert, so I decided to watch it. I was bawling my eyes out because I saw these guys with Of Mice and Men and Nothing More like 3 years ago back at Terminal 5 in New York. I'm sorry, no, not Terminal 5. What was it? The PlayStation Theater in New York. I remember saying, these guys are gonna be around for a long time. And now 3 years later, they're done. I'm like, why? It's so upsetting.
I remember the first song I ever listened to them was No Chaser. It was
oh my god, yes.
No Chaser and Bad Girls, I think it's called.
Mine was Let Down.
Oh yeah, that song is fire.
That and War are 2 of my favorites by them.
Yeah, they were so good. I'm sad they broke up too. I would have loved to have seen. I still never got to see them, but
Dude,
yeah,
I'm telling you right now, dude. They were not only were they loud, but they were fantastic.
Wow.
If they were still together, I would have said go see them. But it really is a damn shame. It really is.
But yeah, that's basically like how I got into metal. I feel like in the past 3-4 years, I also have like my own solo project that I've been doing since like late 2019 called No Shade, and
Okay.
it's like it's like a mix between like heavy rock / metalcore with like those like Palisade like trap elements to it. So like I don't know, like I guess the closest thing I could compare it to is like Nothing Nowhere meets like Wage War. And
oh man. Well,
so,
you just gave me something else to react to, though. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. But I spent the past like I'd say 4 or 5 years like learning how to produce really well so that I could do that solo project by myself. And
Okay.
When we started Deadlands, like everything's been produced by me, so it was like a huge influence on what we do now. But you know, like where I got started with metal is like kind of my influence, like will always be one of the major influences, at least in the writing like of this band.
We're talking to Deadlands here on the bottom line. This is going to be another pretty fun question. I'm not sure if you guys are prepared to answer this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Favorite current metal band as of right now?
You go first. Kate.
Ooh, right now.
Yes. Actually, you know what? No, I'll say this. Favorite current metal band and favorite metal band of all time. Just to try and pick your brains a little bit more.
Okay. Well, favorite metal bands of all time for me, there's 2.
Okay.
And it's Motionless in White and
Yes.
Ice Nine Kills. Till the day I
Yes.
die. Like
Yes.
100%.
100% with you.
Mhm. And my second, well, the one currently. I've been really blasting Wage War lately.
Let's go.
Okay. I can respect
Wage
that.
War and probably Dayseeker. I would say.
Oh, yes. Dude, you know how many times I've listened to Dayseeker's new album? I can't stop. It's addicting.
It's so good. And even I always go back to Sleep Talk too. So I'm like,
Yes.
they're just they can't do anything wrong.
No.
They can't. They're so good.
And Rory's vocals.
Oh yeah.
God.
He's such a good dude too. He's
Holy
fantastic.
crap. Oh, you've met him before.
Yeah, we spoke to him. We did like a group call with him a couple months ago, but he's so genuine and so kind. Like he's awesome.
I have heard that. CJ, what about you?
Well, now that you've said Dayseeker, like they're in the top 3 for me.
There you go.
Of
All right.
Time. Kyle and I actually like just saw Dayseeker like
2 days.
ago. Yeah, literally 2 nights.
Oh,
It
lucky.
was Dayseeker.
How I've heard they're better live than in studio. Is that true?
So that was my 3rd time seeing Dayseeker.
Wow.
They have never ever disappointed. Like
Okay.
their set is incredible. The only complaint I have is like that it's not long enough. Like I just wish it was longer. The first time I saw them, they played the entire Sleep Talk album. Plus, this was before Dark Sun had come out. It was the entire Sleep Talk record plus Neon Grave and Vultures.
Nice.
It
I
was-
approve
Yeah,
very
it
much.
it was insane. And then second time and this time, it was like just about the same set. It was like 8 or 9 songs. They mainly played Dark Sun, so like I'm sure you would have loved that because I know you like.
Yes.
It. But they played Crooked Soul, which is like one of my favorites. They played Burial Plot.
Ooh.
They played Drunk.
Sleep
And-
Talk.
And they played Sleep Talk.
Oh, there you go.
The one song that like I can never get over that they don't play anymore is The Color Black. Seeing
Really?
that live, oh my, that is like,
Really?
that song like is transcending. Like
Huh.
not even kidding you. That is like the best song to hear live. It drives the audience like mad. It's incredible.
I'm surprised they don't play that live. Do they just refuse to play it?
I think it's because they're done with like the Sleep Talk era. They still play some
gotcha.
songs, but I don't know. They don't open with that, and they're also like, I think their artistic vision is leaning towards like not as heavy anymore, which is still fine. They're still incredible songwriters, but
right, yeah,
is definitely pretty disgusting. Like it gets dirty. But yeah, Dayseeker's like a huge one for me. Obviously, Nothing Nowhere. Nothing Nowhere's like influenced a ton of my writing, a ton of my production. So Nothing Nowhere is huge for me. We all mutually agree on this one band. Bring Me the Horizon is like a
yes, 100%. Yes.
Yeah, we love Bring Me the Horizon. We've seen them once. We're seeing them again this summer.
You're seeing them with Fall Out Boy?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm excited for that.
I think I've seen them twice or 3 times.
Yeah, I've seen them times.
Yeah, their set it was incredible. They played for a while and they played a lot of the songs I love. But the I know the main question you asked was like new metal bands.
Right.
Recently, I'm like looking at my Spotify right now. Oh
no, it's okay.
Sleep Token.
Oh my god, dude! I've reacted to like 5 Sleep Token songs. Dude, they are so incredible. It's not even funny.
Yeah, they're like,
dude. The summoning is still my favorite out of the 5 I've reacted to. I've reacted to Chokehold, the summoning.
Granite is my favorite. Granite.
What's that?
Granite is my favorite.
Granite was the other one, yes. And then what was the 5th one? Hypnosis.
Yeah.
Because I've been getting a bunch of requests for Hypnosis. I finally did it. I'm like, yeah, I see the hype now.
Yeah, and Alkaline is really good too.
I haven't heard that one yet. I may have to check that one out. But Sleep Token's a good one, man.
Oh yeah, I just did a cover of the Summoning actually, but I feel like Alkaline.
I did see that, which was fantastic. By the way, you did awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Shout out Andrew Baina.
Kyle, what about you, my man?
Kind of piggybacking off of a few things CJ said. One, a new metal album, Nothing Nowhere. Not that he's a metal artist. His new album, Void Eternal. Holy shit.
Okay. I gotcha.
So good. It features Will Ramos from
oh my god, yes.
That record, Void Eternal front to back, is like no skips. I highly recommend you listen to it.
And plus, I mean, Will Ramos is just he's actually a demon. So, literally, I've heard he's one of the most genuine guys ever, but he's a demon.
He's incredible. As far as like new metal right now, that album is like I've been burning it into my brain. Like it is such a good, like, it's art. It's artwork. Like the whole thing is just art.
Okay.
As far as like all time like favorite bands, as CJ mentioned, Bring Me the Horizon. Like mutually, we all love that band with our whole heart. But me personally, I'd say A Day to Remember and Silverstein. Those are,
oh my god,
probably the 2 that are consistently, since I got into metal, have always like really stuck. Silverstein, I got into so early. I just found out actually at the show 2 days ago. Their first album came out 18 years ago.
What?
Yeah. So like,
God, stop making me feel old.
I was not a fan when I was 7, but I remember in like middle school, probably 13, 14, maybe 15 years old, listening to that first album with like My Heroine and Smile in Your Sleep and all these classic songs. And a few years ago, it was 2019, they put out The Afterglow, just a single, and from there on till now, I've huge fan of Silverstein. They've been around so long, and like I said, 18 years ago they dropped their first album. We just saw them play like an 18-song set and blew my face off.
Same here.
They covered One Step Closer by Linkin Park. So every
No.
kid
No.
It was crazy. It was
sang their lungs out, and then they followed it with My Heroine, and I'm not kidding. The crowd was probably 5 times loud. Like that was the loudest I've ever heard a crowd sing. Like I would jaw.
That is amazing.
Dropped like all night. So I'd say in A Day to Remember. That is my favorite band of all time. A Day to Remember. I'd say those two, Bring Me, and then as of right now, Void Eternal by Nothing Nowhere. It'll knock your socks off. That's all I'll say.
Well, I didn't think I needed to feel any older than I am, but thanks, Kyle. No, listen.
I just have to say real quick, like
Go ahead, CJ.
I wasn't like I've heard like maybe 2 Silverstein songs before seeing them, and I can tell you right now, like I don't know if you've seen Silverstein live before.
I haven't. No.
They were the easily like one of the tightest bands I have ever seen, and they use some backing tracks, but like you can just tell them as musicians are so locked. Like it was incredible, and like yeah, like I sound like I sound rude saying it, but like they are older, like they're like in their like 40s, I think. But I was stunned. They were I would see them like a million more times. They were so fantastic.
Hey, CJ, my man, listen. I'm gonna be 29 years old next Thursday. I think I know what it means to be old.
Happy almost birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. I'm sorry, Kyle. What'd you say? I cut you off.
I just said happy early birthday.
Oh, thanks, guys. Thank you. But anyway, we're getting sidetracked. I feel like we're just geeking out about our favorite metal bands right now. We're not talking enough about you guys. We're talking to Deadlands in case you're missing it on the bottom line. Actually, before we even go back to Deadlands, guys, I still have a couple more questions about Deadlands here. Kasey, this is not a question from me, but it's from 2 of my very close friends who wanted to ask me to ask you this particular question, because the 3 of us, their names are Tia and Dave, by the way. We were at the Motionless in White show in New York City at the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden. And by the way, for those of my audience that don't know, Tia and Dave were featured in my bandmate vlog, and I have pointed out that they are in fact engaged. Just a little tidbit for you right there. I will tell them you said that. Thank you very much. They're getting married next year, actually. So a lot of planning to do. But anyway, I digress there. But Tia and Dave wanted to know this. How the hell did you get involved with performing with Motionless in White in New York City?
For those of you who haven't seen my TikTok, I do a lot of covers, both on my TikTok and the Deadlands TikTok. Specifically, I do pre-records on mine, and then I do live one takes on the Deadlands one. But anyway, as soon as Motionless in White's new album came out, I was in love with it. Absolutely enthralled.
As was I.
And yeah. So first it began with the Masterpiece Open Verse Challenge. So I did that. Then I just started covering all the other songs on the album, and Chris was commenting on like everyone. He was liking them. The Motionless account was liking them as well. And I was like, hell yeah, like to get recognition from your favorite band of all time, one of them, is like insane and absolutely nuts. Especially with how much I look up to them. So we, all 3 of us, bought tickets beforehand to go to the show. They literally just dropped tickets.
Right.
But we got pre-sale.
Oh, okay.
So a few times Chris had DM'd me about... First, he wanted to say that he liked Shallow Breath. He was like, I liked your band's new song that you guys just came out with, Shallow Breath.
Okay.
Like, I like the way your voice sounds in this one part. Like, it's a cool song. And I was like, yo, Chris Motionless is listening to Deadlands right now. Like, how whack is that? But of course,
sick.
you gotta keep it professional. I'm like, thanks, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. On the inside, just squealing like a little girl. the little girl that I am. But then he hit me up about an instrumental. He was gonna put out a masterpiece instrumental, I think it was.
Okay.
And he was like, did we release like an instrumental? Because that instrumental's super good. And I was like, actually, no, I just pulled it from this guy, I think Sadness on YouTube. Pristine instrumentals. It was either Sadness or Basu. But both of them make sick instrumentals.
There you go.
The day that tickets dropped, Chris DM'd me. I was like, hey, like, I don't know if you're around, but are you going to any of the Trinity of Terror shows? Because I would love to have you up on stage to sing Brian's part for Slaughterhouse. And I was like,
bruh.
What? I had no idea what to process. And I'm running, like, screaming around my house, like, Chris Motionless just asked me to be on stage! Ah!
Oh my god.
Running around like a maniac. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. And he was like, tickets are on me or whatever. And I was like, oh, I actually already bought my ticket, but thank you. Like, I'm not gonna chill with them backstage or whatever. I was like, yeah, I have VIP too. And he was like, oh, don't worry about that. You'll just like hang with us in the dressing rooms or whatever. And I was like, that's insane. So
wow.
Yeah, direct invite. That's the shortened version.
So now, once you got up on that stage, what was the feeling like?
Oh, I was shitting myself. Absolutely. I was just trying to breathe. I was so nervous because we're such a new band, like we played in front of maybe 100 people. Well, at that point, like 100 people, 80 people.
Right.
Just like the local pub up the local dive bar that we play at. And I had never performed in front of 6,000 people, I think it was. So think like tiny dive bar versus giant MSG. It's like
I mean, hey, listen, can you imagine if Billy Joel wasn't playing that night and it was at the actual Madison Square Garden?
Oh, I think I would absolutely fall on the floor and die.
I'm just saying, because if any band deserves to play that big stage, it's Motionless in White. Just saying.
100%.
Just saying.
They will eventually. I know they will.
I really hope so.
Oh, they totally will. But yeah, I was shitting myself on stage. Because we didn't get a sound check beforehand either, because their bus broke down in the middle of the night, so they were a little behind schedule. So everything was just a bit rushed. So Chris kind of just briefed me on what was going on relatively. And I was just like, well, I mean, we could just wing it. See how it goes. He told me what parts to do, what parts not to do. But overall there was no direction. He was just have fun. That was really the thing that he said. And I tried to have fun and look cool while having fun.
Now, I need to know this now. Is Chris Motionless as nice as people say? 100%. Okay. 100%. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, absolutely. He's so kind and so genuine and giving, and now what I will say, he's definitely more shy than people think that he is. Because he's an introvert. All of the band are introverts pretty much. So, compared to seeing him on stage, I've seen them probably 11 or 12 times at this point. And then going backstage and really speaking to them one-on-one, it is a different person, because he's putting on the character or whatever, and in reality he's just hey, how are you? And I'm just you're so quiet. But he's just so chill and mellow. But no, he's so genuine, so nice. He's a great dude. The whole band was fucking amazing. And
that's awesome.
I do want to thank Justin, because
Justin's the best.
Oh, he really is. And it was actually Vinny's birthday that day too. But
yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, so Justin, we we were coming out of the dressing rooms because they were like, you guys can go explore or whatever, like do whatever you want. And we went to go to the stage to see Atreyu, and we're coming back out, and we got lost. And then some dudes were like, you guys can't be here. And I was like, oh, we're just trying to find like our dressing room. And they were like, oh, it's that way. And they point us to Blackville Bride's dressing room. And I was like, no. Like, no, like Motionless in Whites. And they were like, oh, it's that way. And then they point us to Ice Nine's dressing room. And I was like, no, like Motionless in White. And they were like, you can't be here. So they just kicked us out of like the place that they were keeping us at, like the backstage. And I was like, no, thank God. Like, Justin was walking in as we were walking out, and I was like, Justin, can you please get us in? And then he was like, oh yeah, totally. So he got us back in backstage, but he was fighting with this dude. He was like, she's performing, let her in. And they were like, okay, but she can't be out here without a chaperone. And he was like, I'm the chaperone.
Wow. I
was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh my
I felt
goodness.
So bad. But he was a real one for that, I have to say.
That's unbelievable. By the way, full disclosure, Justin actually, I probably shouldn't be revealing this on air, but I don't care anyway. Justin actually made a little cameo video for my friends Tia and Dave when they got engaged, so I gotta shout out Justin for that one, if he's listening or watching from anywhere. I hope he is. And if Chris is listening, I would love to have you guys on the show one day, so, hit us up. Anyway, we're talking to Deadlands here on the bottom line. I want to go back to your guys' music, because you guys, at the time of shooting this, your most recent EP called Sentence of Myself is out now on all streaming platforms. Spoiler alert, Dead Weight is my favorite off that EP. I've been blasting that ever since preparing to interview you guys, so just want to get that out there. Talk to me a little bit about the writing process of that EP.
Well, honestly, it just went song by song, I would say. A pretty good chunk of the songs I already had written, because when I was in high school, that's when I really started, like, songwriting. Crush was the first song I ever wrote, like, by myself, and I already had, like, whatever I wanted in my head, and I just needed some people to translate it, and of course, CJ and Kyle were more than happy. They looked over the song, and they were like, this is fucking awesome, so let's do it. And I was like, yeah, so we got to writing. I kind of just told them how I was like, I would give them a vibe. So I'd be like, give me Beartooth, give me Wage War. And CJ would make a riff, Kyle would write the drums. And it just kind of came like that from there. And that's what we did for Crushed, Shallow Breath, and Black Hole. As for Final Judgment and Black Hole, those were really, as for Final Judgment and Deadweight, those were like the most collaborative, as we were writing them all together. So that was like the typical like instrumental first, and then like fitting in some lyrics and just seeing what worked. And that was more of like the group effort kind of thing, I feel like, because when I had the other three already pre-written, like I was like, can we make it sound like this? And of course they were down and ready to create it, and they were more than happy with the outcome. But I was definitely glad that we had more collaboration in the final two songs that we wrote.
What's your guys' favorite song off that EP?
I would have to say, I'm going to go with Crushed. It's my child.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Kyle?
Probably Shallow Breath or Final Judgment.
All right.
Judgment's a sleeper. I feel like no one's ever like, that's my favorite song. I love it personally.
That was my first favorite song. Yeah. No, it is a sleeper.
Shallow Breath is just like, I don't hear a lot of what's in Shallow Breath. Like, a lot of people, probably 95% of people who listen to it don't even realize that in the second verse we have saxophone, like live saxophone, like in the song. So like, it's not something that's like very out in the song. Like it's not pushed at, I guess, like the top of the mix. I don't know the correct term. I don't produce music myself,
Neither
like,
do I, so it's okay.
it's kind of buried in there, but like once you hear it, you won't unhear it type of thing, and that always stuck with me personally. I love that part of the song. But yeah, Shallow Breath, Final Judgment. I'd say those are my two favorite.
CJ?
Definitely Shallow Breath, 1000%. I think like overall, like I've been saying this a lot lately, just like in general, but like I used to, so like I'm sure I said this before in the interview, but like I am the producer of Deadlands. Like I like
Right.
you know, for guitars, like I write the guitars, but I also record them, and I record everything. Like this is like I'm in my home studio right now, and I used to listen to a lot of metal music and be like, oh my god, this mix is dope. Like this shit like sounds big.
Right.
But I've taken a very like different perspective on a lot of metal music, and I'd say like the past like 6 months. And what I've come to a conclusion with is like there is nothing that can take away from a good song. Like if you have a good song, you have a good song. Like it can be performed like as a band. It can be performed like stripped down, like just acoustic guitar and vocals, or like piano. Like Shallow Breath, that's a good song. Like that shit is dope. Like I love that song from beginning to end. Like it is so dynamic. Like it has singy parts, it has screamy parts. It's got great structure to it. I don't know. I really like that song. Like I'm not even saying because like we wrote it together. Like that song, like I listened to that song. I like it. So
Yeah, Shallow Breath, I have to agree, is definitely, in sports terms, an underdog on the album. I personally happen to be a huge fan of it, but I still will be in favor of Dead Weight. That's just, oh my god. I will listen to that nonstop every day while I'm at work, just to keep my mind distracted. Not while I'm driving, though, obviously, because I deliver mail for a living now. But if I'm in the mail truck and listening to that, stop me right now, because if I headbang too much, I'm crashing into something. I'm gone. So that's how much I love Deadweight. So
notice like I'd say like a good amount of our fans love Deadweight. Like that's that seems to be the fan favorite is Deadweight. I like, and I see it's cool. It's got a cool riff. It's like bouncy. I do love that song. The one gripe that I have, like when I produced it, I think that the synth that I used is kind of cheesy. Like the
really, I thought that was pretty cool.
And I'm like, oh, it's kind of cheeseball, but I like it. It's cool. I think like just like in hindsight, like it's a little cheesy. That's all. But
it carries the song.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you.
It does. But you know what? For Deadweight, I thought that was going to be the one that everybody slept on. I thought Final Judgment was going to be the fan favorite.
Interesting.
And then everybody's like, Deadweight, Deadweight, Deadweight. And I was like, really? Like, it was just, I mean, like, of course it's a great song. I just didn't think everybody would gravitate towards that the most.
That song gets tagged in so many workout videos.
Oh, yeah.
So many workout videos.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, if you noticed, I tagged that song when I introduced you guys being interviewed, so that should tell you something right off the bat. But anyway, we're getting sidetracked here. We're talking to Deadlands here on the bottom line. I forgot to ask you this question, Kasey, and I'm sorry I didn't ask it earlier. How did you learn to scream? I'm very curious about that.
Well, I grew up with anger problems.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, here we go.
Not like major, but like the screaming matches I would have with my brother is like ridiculous.
Okay.
So, I mean, listen, I'm 5'2". Us short girls, all the anger is just condensed and compressed. So, like, you gotta let it out somehow since it's not stretched out evenly. But in all seriousness, I went to my first show. My first metal show was Crown the Empire, Bless the Fall, New Year's Day, Light Up the Sky, and Too Close to Touch. Sick lineup. So I get there and I'm trying to do the screamy thingy, but like by the next day I was like, hey guys, like what's up? Like I could not talk at all. So doing that, I enjoyed singing, like just regular clean singing, like just for fun. And I was like, if I don't learn how to do this properly, I'll like never be able to sing this again. So I used to look up screaming tutorials all the time. And then I used to take my Bluetooth speaker that I used to have in my room and use it as a mic and just practice, like singing my favorite songs in my room and like pretending I'm on a stage. So
that's awesome.
But honestly, it was mostly just ear training. Like I kind of just figured it out to the point where it doesn't hurt, and then I was like, all right, doesn't hurt. Now we can experiment.
Oh. Well, there you go. Actually, not gonna lie to you, I'm actually trying to learn how to do that myself because, no, seriously, because my two friends that I keep mentioning, I play guitar, my friend Dave plays guitar, Tia sings, and I've always wanted to know like how metal vocalists pull off that screaming stuff. And I remember vividly one day, like 5 or 6 years ago, I was pulling up to my old job at the time. I was working for a local hockey team near me. And I remember Critical Acclaim from Revenged came on. And I heard that scream from M Shadows and I said, I want to learn how to do that. I want to learn how to do that really, really bad. And I never even bothered to look it up. I've just been very lazy. But I have been looking up tips from what's the guy's name from the band Red, Michael Barnes from the band Red. I know that he's been posting a couple of scream tutorials. If you haven't heard of Red, by the way, go check them out. I promise you, it's worth your time. But he's been posting a lot of screaming tutorials, so eventually I will get that down. But that's beside the point. Let's talk about this now. Any plans to release new music anytime soon? You knew I had to ask this.
Nope, we're done. This is when we announced that we're disbanding.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, we're done. We're done.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Good night. No.
Rest in peace. Deadlands is dead.
Literally and figuratively.
Oh yeah. No, of course. We don't even have a release date yet, which is but we're working on it.
Okay.
We just finished a music video for a new song that we have in the books.
Really?
And it really is a heater. I cannot say that enough. It is my favorite song that we've ever written. And of course bands are supposed to get better, but I feel like this is such a huge jump from what we have released. And it'll blow people's minds. It has everything in it that I feel like makes a really good metal song, and I feel like people are not ready. I hate to hype it up, but like it deserves the hype, you know?
Oh, sorry. I was just reminding myself to make a reaction video once you guys release it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no. Seriously, it's my pleasure. You're hyping it up this much. I mean, it has to be good. Your music's already good enough. But
we have had the song, and it's not even mastered yet. Like, we're still waiting on the master for it, but I've been listening to just the mix ever since we finished it. Every single day, at least like 3 times a day. It's just so good. I can't get over it.
You know I'm holding you to this, because if I find out, if the day comes where I react to it and I don't like it, you know I'm saying something. You know I'm going to give my full honest opinion about it.
I know what happened.
No, listen, in all seriousness, I already know it's going to be a straight up banger, because you guys are absolutely awesome. Guys, this was such an absolute blast. I can't thank you enough for hopping on for a few minutes to talk to us. We truly appreciate it, and you are always welcome back anytime you like. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Anytime. Actually, hold on. Before we actually get out of here, where can people find out more about you? Where can they follow you on social media, the works?
So you can go to deadlandsband.com if you want to just find everything all in one place. You can find us on Instagram at Deadlands Band, TikTok at Deadlands Band, Twitter at Deadlands Band. Chances are, if you search up Deadlands Band, we'll be coming up. But if you guys want to support us and help us out with maybe touring by a city near you, or just help us out with any like expenses we got, you guys can definitely buy some merch at deadlandsmerchstore.com. And we truly appreciate it when you buy merch. Like, makes us want to kiss your face. Absolutely. But bottom line, at Deadlands Band everywhere you go.
If you put it that way, sure, but no, seriously, I may have to cop some merch myself now that you mentioned that. But hey, listen, again, this was such a pleasure. Thank you guys again for doing this. We truly are grateful that you decided to talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate you.
Anytime.
Platform.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. Kasey, Karlsen, CJ from Deadlands. Go follow them on all social media at Deadlands Band. Check out their most recent EP, Sentence of Myself, on all streaming platforms. And stay tuned for new music because you already know your boy is going to check it out. Hey, if you enjoyed this content and want to keep on seeing more, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you don't miss a video or an audio episode. And please help us reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers right here on YouTube. I have something special planned for when we do hit that milestone. So help us get there. But until then, thank you again to Deadlands for hopping on with us. We truly appreciate it, and they are welcome back anytime. For Deadlands, I'm Jimmy. This is The Bottom Line. Have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace, and take care.